Aha! Now it's story time, where I ask random topics and people will post whatever they can imagine. This time I have asked for the suggestions of an animal, a superpower, and a short movie quote. Now, I have not looked at any of the suggestions, but I want to make up a story as we go along. So, here we go for some story time. Once upon a time, there was a goldfish who... Holy crap! They wrote 3 superpowers. Who cares? There was a goldfish who had a lot of brain problems. He could move things with his mind. He could communicate with his mind. And he could set shit on fire. This goldfish was kind of depressed because he was living in a fishbowl. And only when the owner wasn't around, he would take over the kitchen, order pizza, mind wipe the pizza guy, roll up the pizza into it like a burrito, and then cover it in cheese, and then barbecue it with his mind. Then grab those delicious burrito pizza slices and just drop them in the fishbowl to enjoy. And every single time the owner came back, she would go, it's like, what the hell's going on here? The goldfish would mind wipe her. It's just a flesh wound. But luckily, every now and then he would invite his buddy along, the echidna. Now the echidna liked to play games with the goldfish to see who could throw each other farther across the room. Because the echidna had hydrokinesis and would move stuff. Well, move water with his mind. Like one time, he had a block of ice and he chucked it at the goldfish and he said, "Dodge this." And the goldfish set it on fire with his mind. Have you ever seen ice on fire? I bet polar bears do. But who cares? Even though they love to play around so much, the goldfish and the echidna, they had an arch nemesis, the platypus. The time-controlling platypus. And as the time-controlling platypus would attack them from time to time, no pun intended, because the platypus needed to recharge his time-controlling powers. He would show up really quickly, draw funny faces on their faces and marker and with Sharpie and so on, and usually splatter across the ceiling saying, "We can't stop here! This is backcountry!" But the goldfish and the echidna, who it was, because he would leave his little tail prints, those that looks like waffles? Waffle prints everywhere. Oh, that platypus. So they decide to call up their super animal team. They call up their buddy the horse, who has x-ray vision. And he says, "Hop on board." But he has tattooed on his butt, "Have you ever dreamed you're on top of a pyramid wearing sun god robes while naked women throw little pickles at you?" "Well, I'm only the one with that dream," says the horse. Now they go and investigate and find the time-controlling platypus, and they attack him, destroying his lair. Which luckily, on the inside, after it cracked open like a giant egg, because platypi come from eggs, and that was the shape of the base, out comes out a giant 3-headed dog. But there's a problem with this 3-headed dog. He was on God mode. Really? God mode? Oh. So three-headed dog is on God mode. And screams out at the top of its three... Does it have 3 sets of lungs or just... who cares? Three-head screams out, "For I beheld Satan as he fell from heaven like lightning!" Wow. God mode and he feels like God. Moving on. So the goldfish, the echidna, and the horse attack the three-headed dog. While the horse was looking at for vulnerability and weaknesses, well, there's a problem. One of the three-headed dog's heads, one of the dog's heads of the three-headed dog. Bit the horse in half. Just the back half, leaving the front half there, screaming and looking at everything with X-ray vision. And he told the goldfish, "Hey! There's that ace I knew that you were stealing. God, I can never play poker with you, you jerk." And the goldfish said, with his mind, telepathy, "Well, you know what? Mind wipe. You're dead." Oh, and he set him on fire too. Now the reeking stench of burning horse meat was everywhere, which the dogs loved it. The three-headed dog. The three-headed dog loved it. So then he grabbed the horse and ran away. Because, well, dogs love to take things and run away. And he took the horse, barbecued horse, and munched on it as he ran away. And then suddenly, it was a death match between the goldfish, the echidna, and the platypus. The platypus decided, "I'm going to freeze time and escape." But before he could freeze time, he was surrounded in a bubble of water, which is frozen over, thanks to the power of the echidna. And then the goldfish sent it a little hole of fire, went inside and barbecued the whole thing, barbecuing the platypus into nothingness inside of the water bubble. Boiled platypus, said the echidna. I like this. And then the goldfish went back to floating around with his mind powers, floated himself back to his fishbowl, that he enjoyed such a lovely day. And the echidna ate the boiled platypus. But there's a problem. The three-headed dog's going rampaging and nobody stopped them. But luckily, the goldfish, which had all those powers of telepathy, telekinesis, and pyrokinesis, summoned Kratos. And Kratos will always defeat the three-headed dog. And he killed the three-headed dog that had God mode. Because, well, the three-headed dog's a dick anyways. Who cares? Goldfish wins. And the platypus knew that he was going to die. And so that was actually a clone that died. And he'll come back later. The end.